Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of With Resignation, 2 Bitches on a Bench at the Pod Life. So this is a follow-up episode to the first episode with bitch number 2, who has made a life choice to resign. And she's going to tell us how it went. Today was her last day. And we've got some input here from at Wolfington's Post. He's got some growls and things going on. So, he's got to offer his information and his input. So, bitch number 2. Let's pick it up with how your day went today. Well, no. Let's go back to the day you resigned, and then we'll fast forward to today.
Okay.
So, let's start with your resignation process. Tell the listeners, what happened?
Okay, so this was last Monday. So however many days ago?
It'll be 2 weeks by the time this podcast is posted.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So just for everybody, our legislation here says that if you haven't been at a job 2 years, you only have to give a week's notice. So everybody keep your knickers out of a twist. I did what I was allowed to do, and I wasn't giving this job any more of me because, let me tell you, I'm exhausted, and my plan tomorrow is going to the gem store near me and getting the biggest thing of sage that I can find, and I am saging the crap out of my house and my own aura, so, yeah.
You lazy ass, you're going to sleep in first.
Well, maybe. Yeah, so last Monday I went in and the boss asked me to come down to talk about tasks, and the following day, so the Tuesday, his whole game plan was to bring in his brother, to come in and be the office admin person to take that burden off of me. So the next day his brother was coming in to be interviewed and sit and chat with the boss's business coach. So I go in and he starts talking about the tasks, and then he says he starts talking about the plan for the next day with his brother, and I said, with that being said, I have here my letter of resignation. I did not do it with a great amount of charm or smoothness. I just kind of verbal diarrheaed it. Here's my resignation letter. He took it, and he was very cool about it, and I don't mean cool in the sunglasses, leather jacket kind of cool way. He was cool in the temperature. There was no, oh, it's too bad, that's too bad, we're gonna miss you, oh, it's too bad. It was, oh, okay, so where are you going? Okay, so when's your last day? Just very to the point, and yeah.
So, essentially, is it unpersonable? Impersonal.
It was just not, there was no...
Robot.
Yeah, it's very robotic, this is a transaction,
I wish you people
data entry.
I wish you people could see the movements bitch number 2 is making.
I do a very good robot.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so was there any other interaction that day with respect to your resignation?
Not that I really remember. It was kind of business as usual, except there was this feeling of, well, I'm going to get my money's worth out of you. So as much crappy, menial type of tasks that I have, I'm going to get you to do them. So,
fabulous.
Yeah.
Gotta love that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so then let's fast forward to even this week. Kind of summarize how your last few days have been.
Do I have to? I don't want to relive it.
Think of it Thank you, Wolfington. Think of it as purging. You're purging.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, well, the last week and a half itself, my own morale went down in relation to the way that he interacted with me and the way that he talked to me. So, I mean, there could be a two factors here, where it was actually him and his mood and his behavior and his interaction with me had changed, and it could have been me too, where I was overly sensitive to the way that he was being. It probably was a combination of both, but I don't know, where should I start? Because it's been an exhausting 3 days.
Okay, so I guess maybe talk a little bit about how you felt his interaction had changed with you.
Well, I mean, he had always been, I mean, it was dependent on his mood, and his moods change, flick of a switch, but especially with me, very terse, and there was a lot, there had been quite a bit of this feeling of, if something wasn't done, or it wasn't done correctly based on his instructions, it was, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this right? You should know how to do this. And there was a lot of that, a lot of kind of displacing his lack of clarity in instruction, and that became my fault, and it became kind of what felt like an quote-unquote an attack on me and the way I do stuff. But nothing really, I mean, I'm not the type of person to go into work once I've given my resignation and just sit there and just say, well, F all y'all, and do absolutely nothing. I'm still going to go in and I'm still going to do my quality of work. It doesn't mean I'm going to be happy about it, but I'm still going to do it.
Fair enough.
So,
because you have integrity.
So if you say so. So from my perspective, nothing on my side had changed in terms of my ability to do my work and the detail with which I did my work. There was a communication breakdown of some sort that happened that, yeah, I kind of feel like I'm talking in circles. Stop me.
No, you're not talking in circles.
I'm trying to explain it without getting too much, without having the backstory of what this boss is like and how this boss communicates. The fact of the matter is, he's a terrible leader. Terrible. And he's a terrible communicator. So you can't be it doesn't work.
Right.
To be a terrible communicator and be a successful boss. I can't see how that would work.
Well, for me as an outsider looking in, the ironic part is the industry. So what he does, he needs to communicate, and he needs to communicate clearly so that the client will understand what he's talking about.
Yeah, and jokes had been made with him and the other counterpart to me in the office of next person that we hire needs to have the ability to be telepathic to be able to know what I'm thinking. Well, you're putting that out there, and okay, haha, sure, it's a joke.
Okay, Wolfington. Wolfington is barking at the joggers going past us.
But yeah, he just, I think that there is quite a level of expectation of that.
A level of expectation
where you should be able to read his mind.
Oh, yeah. And that kind of mind, it's impossible to read, because even if you think you have it.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
They're too, those kind of personalities are way too unpredictable.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, because I'm curious, so how did your counterpart react and act, A, when she found out that you were leaving, and B, for the rest of this time?
She and I did not have very much interaction. She and Boss are very similar. I think we talked about this. She and Boss are very similar in their personality type. So, when Boss told her that I was, because I didn't say anything. For me, working there was about going in, keeping my head down, and doing my work. So he told her, and she just comes in and says, "So I hear you're leaving her." Yeah. I mean, I don't.
And your reaction to, or your response to that was?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So nothing really much had changed. Her and I didn't really have a whole lot of interaction. With the exception of today, she comes up and says, "So how does it feel?" As in, it's my last day, I feel fine. I just don't really know what to say to that. It's fine.
I'm ecstatic.
I'm peeing my pants right now and you can't see it. Yeah, so, I mean, there was no relationship there anyway, and, I mean, things had been said. Our interaction had never been great, and there was no way for us to be able to build in a personal way, so, I mean, that was just whatever.
So okay, so because I'm curious, what did she, like, what was the last thing that she said to you today?
So it was probably about 15 minutes before I was leaving, and she turns to me and she says my name, and then she said something, like it was nice knowing you or something like that, and then shook my hand, and she almost broke my hand.
She shook your hand?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird.
I'm sorry to laugh.
And then, well, it is. I mean, it's a very, very strange, this is what I mean. I was the odd one out in that office because the way that they behave is like nothing I've ever experienced before. Ever.
She shook your hand. I don't think anybody has ever...
anybody that you've worked with?
Anybody that I've worked with when I've left a job, they've either just not...
I'm like, "Okay, bye."
Yeah, "Okay, bye." Not said anything. Maybe said good luck. But I don't think anybody's ever shook my hand.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So, okay, so tell us about your day today.
My day was stupid. It started off early with, what's the word I'm looking for? Being barked orders.
Oh.
Of, "You need to do this, you need to do this, we need to plan out your day." Fair enough. But by the way, good morning. It's lovely to see you, I say with my fingers crossed behind my back. Yeah. So, yeah, and then it was just a, I don't even have words. It was not a good day. From 7:30 in the morning right until the bitter end at 3:55, my day was exhausting. And just every possible thing, it was an argument. Every possible thing was an argument, and I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted.
Because you were wrong in everything that you did?
Yeah. Everything that I did, regardless of... I'm happy to take onus on where there are mistakes. So if, for example, if there's a spelling mistake, if there is a drafting error, I am more than happy to say, "You know what, I goofed. Sorry. I done goofed. I'll fix it.
Yeah.
I think when you're dealing with something that needs to be regulated, in the case of working in law, a legal assistant can do a lot of the work. So of course the drafting, but there's still a lot of legalese that goes into stuff, and that's not something that there are things, I mean, doing a will is an example. I can do a will with my eyes closed. But even still, it's still the job of the lawyer to check everything over.
Right.
And that consistently isn't done. But today, well, over the past week especially, that hasn't been done. And because that hasn't been done, if a legalese type of, I won't even call it a mistake, because it's just something that I didn't know. So when something comes up and there's something missing because it's something that I didn't know, that becomes a you should know better, you should know how to do this, and it becomes a thing, you didn't do this, you didn't do it right, it's your fault. And yet I'm kind of sitting there going, yeah, but in this specific case that I'm talking about, it was a residential real estate purchase. We don't do real estate. That is not something that we do.
Right.
We've done, in the time that I've been there, we've done, this was the 4th real estate file that we had done, and each real estate file was something different. So the one before was a sale. A sale is pretty straightforward. The other one was a sale by a corporation, actually a not-for-profit organization. The other one was a purchase of a brand new home, and then this one was a purchase of an already existing home. So there was, and these people weren't doing a mortgage, and so there were things that I needed help with, and he just expected me to know. But I didn't have the experience, and I could ask to a certain point, or I could figure it out on my own to a certain point, but ultimately it's the job of the lawyer to oversee the work that the paralegal is doing, and he just wasn't doing that. And I, at the risk of sounding really super paranoid, conspiracy theory, that there was a bit of a purpose of him doing this, where it almost felt like every single thing that I did, it was so that he could say no. So as an example, a mortgage document. So our purchasers came in and signed all their documents today, no problem. But it ended up that on the mortgage document, the mortgage financing document, the address of service, or the address of the bank, was wrong. Even though there were 2 addresses that we received from the bank,
Yeah.
one of the addresses was for the quote-unquote final reporting, and the other address was for everything else. Well, I didn't know that there was going to be a final reporting. I thought everything was going to the bank. So I put this other address on. I put the final report address on. The clients had come in, signed the documents, and then he sees afterward that, oh, no, this is the wrong address. This is the wrong address. So, okay, so fine. And this is like 3 o'clock by now. So they work in our building. And so I did up the documents, and I went down, and I got them to sign, and I was the one who witnessed them signing, which before it was boss who witnessed them signing. But I did that so that I could just run down. We didn't have to bother them to come up to sign and say blah, blah, blah. So no problem. So I came back up, and I said, the documents are done. I got them to sign, and I witnessed it. And then he goes, no, you can't. And I said to him, I'm not allowed to witness them signing. And then he goes, oh, I'll look through the documents, but I guess that should be fine. So everything was kind of an argument, which it ended up being fine. Ended up being fine. It shouldn't matter. So it was just, it was things like that where everything had to be an argument, and everything had to be a, you didn't do this right. until I said, yeah, but until I stood up and I said, so it's wrong that I did this, and then that's when he had to backpedal and go, oh, no, I guess that's fine. I've talked too much, you talk.
No, you haven't talked too much, because that was what the podcast is about. So clearly he just wants to be argumentative and essentially come out right. Even if it ends up being the same as it started before he even started arguing, right?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, he would argue with you, like as an example, you witnessing the signatures. He argued with you about it.
Yeah.
But the outcome of it was that it was fine.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to waste anybody's time, including his own. But he just wants to be right.
Right. Yeah. So even it was less work for him. It was less work for the client. I was the one who was having to run around, which was fine. And I was the one who had to go with my tail between my legs and say, oh, there was a mistake on the documents. So it saved face for him. But it was, yeah, and it wasn't until I challenged him and say, you mean there's an issue with me witnessing them signing? Oh, well, I guess not. I guess I should check. Well, maybe you should have checked before you started arguing with me, because in that, 15 seconds of a conversation, you tried to make me feel stupid. You tried to make me feel like I had made a mistake, when really you were the one who just couldn't be bothered, or whatever it is, whatever the motive was, to not look up and say, oh, okay, she actually helped me, because I didn't have to get off my ass.
Because he doesn't want to make that admission. He doesn't want to acknowledge that little you helped big him.
But that's the thing, is that's not even what it was. It was for me, you know what, it's easier for me to just run down. I don't know their extension in the building, so I'm going to have to call the front desk, or I'm going to have to dial through all the phone numbers, I'm going to have to try and do a Google search to find this woman's extension within the building, say, oh, we made a mistake, I can't explain it to you, come up, and then we have to explain. It just made more sense for me to amend the document, print them off, and take them downstairs.
Right.
Simple.
Well.
And yet, that there was something wrong in that, and I didn't see it as I'm trying to make it easier for him, or I'm trying to make myself look like the good guy. I was just trying to do it for the people, because it's stressful. It's stressful to be buying a house, and they're probably like, okay, let's get this on already. This is taking forever.
Yeah.
And now we've had to sign all these documents, and we've had to do all of this.
Well, I think the thing that I always find with people like him is is that they find it impossible to say thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like you just said, no, maybe you weren't trying to make it easier for him or anything else, but he could still say thank you. Hello?
Yeah. No, that things like thank you, that's actually really interesting.
Did he ever say thank you for anything?
No.
Interesting.
No, and now that you say that, I'm looking back, and I just, even today at the end of the day, there was never a thank you for your work. It was, okay, good luck. There
sounds familiar.
There was never a thank you, and so that's actually really interesting now that you say that, because I've never been able to be in a position to look back and say, huh. And I mean, the previous place I worked, it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but he made sure to say regularly, hey, thanks for coming in today. So even, he was not being silly, but he said even when he worked in corporate, he would used to say that to his boss. So he'd go up
thanks for coming in today.
Hey, thank you for coming in today. And so it was silly, and we would kind of snicker about it, but I think that there was an authenticity in him saying that, and even something like that, I would never, even if I was never said thank you from anything else in that past job, at least I would be able to say, yes, they said thank you.
Yeah.
They said, thanks for coming in today.
You remember it, joke or not, that's something that you remember.
Yeah, and there was never any issue with my previous job with them saying thank you. That was never an
Yeah.
issue. Ever. So it's just really, really interesting that, you know, I've realized coming out of this how important office culture is
Right.
for wherever I'm going to work. There has to be a good culture of some sort.
So,
Um,
I thought that dog was a person.
yeah.
Um,
We're sitting at the river, and so we can just see a head swimming across a channel, and we couldn't tell if it was a dog or a person. It's
okay,
a dog.
sorry, can we digress for just a second? Because
Yeah.
this was a post that I saw either on Facebook or Instagram, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And I know you hate when I talk about posts like this. So there was, I think it was in Florida,
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
the kids that watched the guy
Yeah.
drown and
they
laughed.
they figured out a way to charge them. They found a really
Did
really yeah. Whoever it was, I don't know if it was the state or whatever. They found a really it would have been the cops. They found a really really obscure law where they were able to charge him. Where if you see somebody in distress, and especially if you see somebody potentially dying, it is law that you have to call for help.
Did you watch the video?
No, I did not. Because
Okay,
I don't deal with that part. I'm more of the let's deal with the aftermath of the body.
You're more of the
Hands-on.
You're the forensic part, and I'm the actual crime part.
That or the let's take these suckers down for being such horrible people.
Okay, so I watched the video.
Of course you did, and
Of
she's
course I
afraid
did.
of water.
I'm
so this
afraid
is
of water. Yeah, so it hit me especially hard. It was disturbing.
yeah.
It was disturbing that they stood there and were yelling at this guy, essentially telling him what a dumb effer he was, and yelling at him with curse words and stuff. No one's gonna come and save you, you sucker, you're gonna drown, you're gonna die. And then when his head went under for the last time, one of them says, he did.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was disturbing. And then they just stood there and they're like, oh, he's not coming up. Oh, he's not coming up. He's dead. And it was just so matter of fact. I'm like, my piece of cake fell in the water. Oh,
well,
well.
you'd be crying if that happened. Let's be honest.
You never mind, I would so. But yeah, so
There was eons ago, as more of a digression, and we had gone to Shoppers Drug Mart, which is a CVS or a Rite Aid for you American pals of ours. And this one had gotten a chocolate bar. I believe it was a Snickers, or was it a Mars?
It was a Mars
It was a Mars bar, and it was one of the ones that had the two, wasn't it? It had
No,
the two.
it was just a big
Oh, that's
one.
even worse. It was a big Mars bar. And she peels it open and she goes to take a bite, and I don't know how it happened, but the Mars bar just plops right on the ground.
Yeah.
See, she's crying, and that happened probably more than 10 years ago.
Well, we don't have to exaggerate.
Okay. Anyway,
Sorry to digress on that. That just brought that up. Okay, so now, end of day, your boss wants to talk to you. So tell us about what that conversation was like.
so he asked me to see him before I left. I was like,
How can I miss you?
So I go in and I again kind of verbal diarrhea and just go, this is everything that I've completed. Everything's up to date now. Because I'm just trying to, I think, bombard him with information where he forgets what he's going to say. And he's like, okay, bye. Peace. Yeah, man. So then he goes into his diatribe of, oh, you did, no, I don't even know that he said he did good work, that I did good work. He was just, oh, we're really gonna miss you. Good luck on your future. He did tell me that if I should ever need a job, to let him know.
Because you want to go back there desperately.
Or for a reference. So
What kind of reference would he write?
I think it would be very, very clinical, and he wouldn't even write it. He would get my counterpart to write it, and it would be riddled with grammatical
Just for kicks, can I call and ask for a reference?
No.
Please?
No.
I think that would be something that we could, dissect apart and make fun of. That's terrible.
Well, if anybody
Can
wants to give this a try, DM us,
Yes, please. It would be fun.
and we'll give
Okay.
you the contact information.
So how do you feel now?
I kind of thought I left, and so I just grabbed all my stuff and I just walked to the office, and I got outside, and it did kind of hit me a few times where I was going, okay, this is going to be my last time doing this is going to be my last time doing that, and it wasn't bittersweet even, it was just kind of weird. And then I left and I got outside and I was just, I don't know, it was weird.
Numb? Empty? Numb?
Kind of both.
Okay.
Yeah. Where I felt like I could have cried, but there was nothing there to come out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I suppose that's an emptiness where I think I needed to feel sad because it's what was expected, and it was also, I was working at that job during a very huge transitional part of my life, and so the fact that that's over is good. I'm really, really glad. And it's also the definitive end.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It's really, really hard to explain. And I got home and I just kind of sat. I sat in kind of the dark lighting of my condo, and I just kind of sat on the couch, and I just sort of sat there. And it was just weird. I don't know.
Okay, so I have a thought.
Uh-oh.
I know. Smoke's coming out.
Yep. You people, what you're smelling is not forest fire, it's her brain. Firing on all thrusters.
Watch out. So you just said that you had been working there during a transitional part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm like about things happen for a reason,
Yeah.
and signs and all that woo-woo stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that you went through a very turmoil type period.
Yeah.
And that turmoil was all encompassing. So at the end of this, that's your last chapter with respect to that part.
Yeah.
And so there was nothing left.
Well, I also, yes, that is partially true. I think, I also feel like, I mean, without getting too specific and into the details, I also feel like there's still a little part of that where, because of where I live, that there's still a bit of that.
Yeah.
Because that is still, that's the one thing that's still sort of connecting me to that last bit.
Right.
But anyway, yes, I agree. I think,
Sage
yeah.
it, baby. Sage it.
Yeah.
Sage, sage, sage.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should do a Grace and Frankie type ritual. You should go back and watch some of those ones where she's doing that funky little dance that she does, because she's done it in the house.
Yeah, for the gun.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then she did it once or twice on the beach too,
Yeah.
for something,
Yeah.
which is really cool. And
Yeah.
then I think you should write in your
My dream journal.
your the virtual one where she writes
My
in there.
imaginary diary?
Yeah, and she actually goes through the process of closing it up.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
it's as silly as it is,
No, I don't think
I
it's
think
silly at all.
the process of it actually might work.
Yeah.
Okay, so tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's a new start. Emotionally, spiritually, what are you going to do? How are you going to cleanse and start again?
Well, I think the cleansing part is the big one.
And is that the saging?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the actual ritual of the saging will be, and I don't know, because at this point I don't necessarily have a plan, because I've got 5 days until I start my next job, so I think I'm just going to do what I need to do. I mean, there isn't really any sort of catalyst, knock on all the wood around me, please, any sort of catalyst of anything that's going to bring my energy down. So I'm going to take this time to just be. Just be, man. Just be.
Okay.
Maybe I'll go to the 420 clinic and get myself a little ganj.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so can I give you some advice?
Here we go.
I've already given this to you, but I'm just doing this because we're on the podcast.
Yeah.
And you're going to roll your eyes and you're going to, oh, Jesus, shut up. So I had this post, and apparently you saw it a week ago and didn't bother to share. And it was about your energy.
Yeah.
And the energy that you put out is what you get back, and blah, blah, blah.
That would be the law of attraction, yeah.
Okay, well, you don't have to be literal. Anyway,
Well,
I decided, excuse me, I'm on the verge of hiccups. I decided on Sunday night actually, I think, before I went to bed, I decided that I was going to start my Monday with positive
vibe.
Yes. And, okay, so there was a post about the energy, and then there was another post about the French version of Monday, and M-O-N, Mo, means my. So, my day. So those two posts were stuck in my head, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm just going to try this, because every Monday I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, it's Monday. Ugh. Weekend went by too fast. Ugh. It's going to be a shitty day. Ugh. I have all these emails to face. Ugh.
That sounds very familiar.
So I started Monday out. I'm going to go to the office. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to smile. I'm just going to get through everything. I'm not going to make a big deal. Monday was actually a really good day. I got a lot of work done.
Whee!
I didn't let little things send me off the deep end, which I generally do. At Tuesday, same thing. I go in, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this day positive. Tuesday wasn't as good as Monday, but there was nothing bad about it. I didn't go home, I was exhausted, but I didn't go home and be grumpy.
Yeah.
Ugh. And then today, same thing. Today has been the best day of the three.
Yeah.
And maybe there is something in that whole thing about energy and staying positive and all of that kind of stuff.
I'm sure there is, because I think it was last Wednesday. I mean, aside from the work stuff that was happening, the networking group that I had been a part of, there was a lot of information that had been coming out, and a lot of people were reaching out to me to find out what was going on and if I was okay, and showing their support of me. And so that day was really, really good. Despite what was going on with the office and how I felt about my job, I had all of these people, and however it is that you need to be positive, don't think about the karma, because I was really, really positive because of the feedback that I was getting from these people that I really, really respect, the feedback that I was getting from them, the feedback that they were giving to me about me versus the feedback that I was hearing about boss. There's a little bit of a karmic and a little bit of a Schadenfreude thing, but I don't know. A lot of good things happened to me that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my advice to you, as I said at the beginning of that, can I give you some advice?
Yes.
My advice for you for the next 5 days, is try to be positive.
I'm going to try. What I'm going to try to do is just be. So I want to kind of take inventory of where my neutral or my resting state is. So without having anything that's stressing me out, without having to go and deal with something and deal with a job that was just spiritually and emotionally killing me, and just see where I'm at. And then that's where I know it's my barometer. It's my it's my point. What's the word? My baseline. It's my baseline to know, okay, I know that I need to be more positive, or I know I'm actually okay. It's just my surroundings and it's my situation that affect me in this, and this way.
Right.
So then I know that, yeah, sure, of course there's going to be personal work there, but then I also know, okay, this is where I know that I need to be, this is the type of environment that I know that I need to be, and these are the types of people that I know that I need to surround myself with.
It'll be an interesting, not experiment, but an interesting process.
Learning experience.
don't mind moving to the coast. He's disturbed by people going by. So we'll just wait for him to get it out. There you go. There, he just needed to get that out. So, how do you feel now? Now that you...
Better.
Good.
Yeah. It's still weird, but better. I mean, I don't know that I really... I guess I just don't really... I'm just kind of... Numb isn't the right word. But
Neutral?
I'm just kind of neutral, yeah. Which I don't think is a bad thing.
You're idling?
Yeah. I'm
There you go.
idling.
That's good.
I'm idling.
Well, I'm very happy for you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And it'll be interesting to follow your journeys ahead. And, yeah.
All
right. Well, thank you for sharing your escapades with us.
For coming in today.
It's my pleasure. Hey, that's twice today that I've been told thank you. And it goes a long way.
It does.
Can I just, before we say goodbye,
Bye.
can I just tell you what happened to me today?
Yeah?
Very quickly.
Yes.
So, my immediate boss, she's not always in the office, and she sent me a message and asked me to call her. And when I called her, she said, the first thing she said was, I just wanted to talk to you and say thank you. And because I don't, thank yous are kind of a compliment, right?
Yeah.
And I don't take compliments well. I don't know how to deal with them. What are you snickering at? Stop snickering. That's another podcast. Compliment.
Yeah.
Self-esteem.
Yeah.
Self-worth.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said to her, I didn't really know what to say, and I just said, okay, for what? And she started laughing, and it wasn't in a bad way that made me feel awkward or that she was laughing at me, but she said, I just wanted to say thank you for listening.
Ooh.
You've heard me in the what word am I looking for? Not instruction.
In the
but
feedback.
Thank you. In the feedback, you've heard me and you've implemented it right away. And then she said, I've been copying her on emails to clients and stuff. And she said, her exact words were, I'm really enjoying watching these emails go back and forth.
Yay.
And it was like, yes! Yay! It just, I don't know, a thank you goes a long way. It really does. And that'll stay with me for the rest of the night, and it'll carry me into tomorrow.
Yay!
Just because.
Yeah.
People don't get, they don't get acknowledgement and they don't get praise very often.
No, they don't.
And for me, I don't know what to do with it sometimes. I don't know how to take it. Why are you joking with me? Why are you making fun of me?
Yeah.
So
Thanks for that, by the way.
Yeah, well, you know. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that. But anyways, we can close this one off.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for coming out, bitch, too.
Yeah.
And thank you to our listeners. Please, again, as always, if you have any feedback, questions, comments, theories, offerings, by all means, drop a comment. We would appreciate it. Spread the word. Get some more followers and subscribers to our funny, but, you know, quaint, funny, quaint, kooky, down to earth with your pants down podcast. Not literally.
All right.
Figuratively.
All right.
Have a great week, listeners.
Bye.
Bye.